Hey everyone, welcome to my first of 3 Best of 2017. This is Best of Beauty, Skincare, Hair Care, Tools, all that stuff. As always, everything is listed in the description box. I have broken this down into the order in which I apply my makeup, and then I put skincare and hair care last. And if you wonder why I keep looking down, I've written it all out as well. I just messed with my white balance. Good job there. I basically went through all of my monthly favorite videos and picked out the highlights for each category. And then there were a few things I realized I'm just using it all the time and I've never mentioned it. So now it gets to be in the spotlight. So let's start with foundations. I started off the year with this one and it has been a very consistent favorite. This is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Glow Luminizing Fluid Foundation. It has an SPF of 20. I'm currently wearing it in the shade Neutral 1. What I really like about the Shiseido line is it has a neutral line, and then it has a rose one, and then I think there's even a more yellow toned one. So it goes across all skin tones as far as what your undertones are. And I just love a dewy, glowy foundation that wears for a long time and that doesn't sparkle and make me look like an oil slick, even with dry skin. And it checks all those boxes. So again, a favorite. From the drugstore, I mentioned this in December, but I also mentioned this, I think, back in January, February as a favorite, and it's the Maybelline Dream Cushion Foundation. I apply it with a brush, and actually I can show you what brush. My all-time favorite foundation brush is the IT Cosmetics, you think I know the name by now, Heavenly Luxe Flat Top Buffing Brush. Love this. I just put it right in and just stipple it and then blend all over the face. I'll get back to brushes in a moment, but the most worn foundation that I wear year-round, it doesn't always get mentioned, is the IT Cosmetics CC Plus Color Correcting Full Coverage Cream. And don't let the name fool you, this is a foundation. It's not a tinted moisturizer. It's not a CC cream. This is a medium to almost full coverage foundation, and I prefer this formula to the Illumination one. It has sparkles in it. This one is just a nice dewy one. It has a pump. I'm in the shade Fair. In the summer, I'm in the shade Light. That is my skin tone range. What I really like about this, besides the SPF 50, is it just makes my skin look amazing. It's incredibly travel friendly because of the squeezy tube, it won't break. And it has a magical property that if you mix this with any other foundation, it makes that foundation look that much better. So it's great worn alone, and it's a great one to mix. It plays well with others. Like I mentioned, the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe Kabuki Brush, Flat Top, I can't get the name of this right. What is wrong with me? Heavenly Luxe Flat Top Buffing Foundation Brush. This is my all-time favorite, but a new one to me for 2017 that I purchased during the Ulta Beauty Days is again by IT Cosmetics, and it is their Airbrush Complexion Perfection Brush. And it's basically the same thing, but it's just a little bit of it's a little softer, I'd say, and it's got a more angled, chiseled head. It doesn't really make a difference, but I really love how that works. There's 2 different kinds of concealers. I like to use one specifically for under eye and another one to cover blemishes. The one that's new to me for 2017, I still love my Tarte Shape Tape for my under eye. I find it to be very brightening and long wearing, and it doesn't crease as long as you powder it. But new for 2017 that I like just as much, I use it interchangeably, and it's a little bit of a lighter consistency, not coverage, is the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Full Coverage Concealer, and I wear it in the shade Fair Neutral. It's a little pricier per ounce, but it's a slightly different formula. So like I said, it's a little bit lighter under the eyes. I apply it the same way. I always, if you're new to my channel and don't know this, I always apply first the MAC Prep and Prime Highlighter Pen in Radiant Rose. It's a pink tone. That's to color correct. Pat that in with a brush, and then I put this over it once it's patted in, and I blend that in with any kind of beauty sponge. For facial blemishes, there's 2. This was a favorite from last year as well that I discovered late in 2016, and it has carried me through 2017. It's still the same stick. This is the Clé de Peau Concealer. It's not inexpensive. It is $70, but I have been using this pretty much every single day for over a year, and there's still quite a bit. It doesn't look like a lot left, but this will go for months and months. So while it is $70, it lasts forever, and it's kind of a cream to powder type coverage. So if you have oily skin, it'll work for you. It holds up under humidity and that kind of thing. So I will never be without it. I will repurchase this. And then I also picked up this year for my under eyes, the Lancome Let's just stick to English, shall we? Waterproof, long-lasting under-eye concealer, but it's not really light enough in tone. The lightest shade is still a little too dark to brighten my under eyes, but because it's a waterproof concealer, I found that it's great for blemishes, and I just blend it in with the Beauty Blender or Beauty Sponge, and it holds up very nicely on my face as well. Let's move on to powders. This was new to 2017, and I'm almost ready for another one. It's the Charlotte Tilbury, well, it's got a long name, Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. I wear it in the shade 1. If I don't mention what shade I'm in, please feel free to ask me in the comments, but always assume it is in whatever the lightest shade is. That's usually how it works. The packaging alone is stunning. It's this beautiful pressed powder that, look at that, I've hit pan. A little goes a long way. I can use it under my eyes, all over my face. It doesn't get cakey. It does perfect your skin. It's magic. I highly recommend it. This goes in the powder, contour, and highlighter category, but I threw it in here. It needs to be mentioned. The NYX 3 Steps to Sculpt face sculpting palette. I have it in the shade Fair. There's also light, medium, deep. It does have some great color range for all sides of the color spectrum. I use this shade sometimes under my eyes. I use this to contour, and this as a highlighter, but I also use it to do the same thing contouring on my eyes. So it's a very multifunctional palette, and it's a great face palette, but it's also a great eye palette. And I just threw it here in the middle just because it needs to be mentioned. And then a setting spray, which I'm gonna kind of put under the powder category, that I loved. I bought 2 of these little bottles already. It's the Makeup Forever Mist and Fix O2 setting spray. This is my second bottle, baby size, that I have whipped through. I'm trying a new one, a drugstore one out. Jury's still out on that one, but I would definitely recommend picking this up and maybe just splurging for the full size. I think you get more per ounce that way. Like, it's lower price per ounce if you just buy the bigger one. Moving on to bronzer. I have a few favorites, but one that really stands out as an all-time favorite is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I have it in the original shade. It's just bronzer. There's a light version. It's too light. It's not that it's too light, it's orange. Stick with the original, just bronzer shade. It smells like suntan lotion. It's lovely, it goes on smoothly, it blends beautifully. I'm wearing it all over the place. If you are a deeper skin tone, this is definitely not gonna cut it for you, and I apologize for that. And shame on Physicians Formula for not expanding their shade range. Highlighters, I have 2 to recommend. The first one is the newest one, and it's the Jouer powder highlighters. This one is in the shade Rose Gold, but I really like Skinny Dip and Ice as well. They are pretty inexpensive for a for a department store brand. The packaging is adorable. A little tiny mirror. They're really pretty shades, but the one, like the all-time favorite for 2017 is back to the drugstore. It's actually at Walmart, and it's from Flower Beauty, and it is their Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette. These 3 shades, there is a gold, a pink, and more of like a champagne-y kind of, that's the shade I reach for the most. And these are not subtle. If you're looking for subtle, do not go near these, but they're just gorgeous. They're buttery, creamy, soft. If I repackaged this and put this in something else, you would think this was like a $60 highlighter. I'm not even kidding. They're amazing. All right, let's talk blushes. Every single one I'm gonna recommend, drugstore. It was the year of the drugstore for blushes for me. So the 2, first off, and I do wanna get more of them, are the Physicians Formula Butter Blushes. I have them in the shade Plum Rose. Plum Rose here and Natural Glow, which was probably the one I used the most, especially in spring, summer. They're very subtle. They're not like in your face. Wow, she's got a lot of blush on. Like, you cannot overdo it with these. They do have a glow, not a shimmer. There's no glitter, but a definite glow to it. So if you want a matte blush, you're gonna hate these. Back to Flower Beauty. There's 2 standouts. The first one is a great summer one. It's called Warm Hibiscus. And again, it has that it's very similar to NARS Orgasm, in that it has that corally, peachy, shimmery, indefinable shade, but it's certainly not anywhere near as expensive as NARS Orgasm, and I find they're so soft and creamy. I like these far better than the NARS blushes. Oh. And then if you want a matte one, they do have some matte ones, and the one I like is this one called Sweet Pea. And look how pretty it is. I mean, it's just a pretty warm, neutral pink. I love it. And then lastly, they're new to the game, but they came out in 2017, and I know you'll be seeing a lot more of these as I purchase more from the range. I mentioned it last month in my favorites. It's the Milani Color Harmony Blush Palette, and I have it in the shade, what do I have it in? Berry Rays. There's coral, there's a pink, there's more than that, but these are beautiful. And if you see a trend, yes, I like a soft, glowy blush. Let's move on to eyes. And there's a lot to talk about. Only one eyeshadow primer, should not come as a surprise if you've watched me for a while. This thing is so beat up. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. It blows away everything I've ever tried. I don't like the Milani one nearly as much as I like this Wet n Wild one. That is just me. There it is. Brows, 2 products stand out. I've actually had this for a while and just didn't think it was the right shade for me and never tried it until I ran out of my eyebrow pencil. And I was like, where have you been? Actually, I knew where you were. You were sitting on a counter and I never touched you. It's the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, specifically in the shade 2. It's a very, very micro fine little pencil tip, great for getting in the detail work. And then on the other side is your spoolie. I love the formula, I love the shade range, and I especially love that I was able to use this entire thing without snapping it in half, and you know which brand I'm talking about. Okay, so to hold my unruly brows in place, definitely from 2017, I may have been using this longer, I forget, I just always have it. It's the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara in the shade Blonde. Specifically, if you are a blonde or you want your eyebrows to look a little lighter than they are, this is a game changer. It holds my brows in place, it doesn't get flaky, but it also, filming in real life with dogs and kids, it's so fun. Okay, so back to this, NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. I love it, get it, use it, love it. Okay, let's get to eyes, actual eyeshadows. So again, the drugstore's products kind of won this category. There are a couple higher end, but I'll just go through these really quickly. You've seen me talk about these forever. The first, again, Flower Beauty. This is the Shimmer and Shade eyeshadow palette in Golden Natural, and it has a nice selection of mattes, shimmers, a little bit of glitter in 1 or 2 of them. The only thing this is missing to make this the absolute perfect palette in my eyes is a ivory matte or satin shade at the very end for a highlight and to help blend. Oh, and the brush that came with it was fabulous. These are great. There's a cool tone one if you're more of a cool tone girl, but this is so creamy, so soft. Their pigmentation, the formula of the Flower Beauty shadows are just unbelievable. Also, another drugstore brand, Makeup Revolution. I did a video comparing and contrasting this one with the Tarte Clay and Play Shaping Palette or something like that. This is the Ultra Eye Contour Light in Shade. I like the color options better from this palette. I didn't see enough of a difference between the two to justify the higher price for the Tarte Clay and Play. I did purchase both of them myself. I just find that this is a little more versatile. There's a little more variation in the shades. And then the last palette is, I picked this up at Ulta, and this is a collaboration between BH Cosmetics and Bubs Beauty, I think is how you say. She's a YouTuber, and I just wore the heck out of this thing. It has some more unusual shades, but they're actually, like this purpley pink one is actually very wearable when blended with these neutrals, a few cool tone, but mostly warm. I'm wearing it right now, actually. I really, really like it. And I like how slim and easy it is to travel. I travel every other month or so to visit Jake or do something. And it's my oldest son who's away at college. And I just find this to be very travel friendly as well. This by far, if I had to pick one item that I absolutely cannot live without, my one eyeshadow eye product is the Chanel Illusion d'Ombre. They're basically cream shadows, and specifically the shade 90 Convoitise. It's like a little soft gold cream shadow. I apply it either with my finger or a concealer or synthetic brush just on the lid. I did it today. If you are not great at coming up with looks, this just makes your life so much easier. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna do a full review. And then for a totally extra kicking it up into high gear for parties or something special, these Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadows, specifically the one in Kitten. They're amazing. I showed you how I did this in my day to night holiday look. If you missed that, I'll put it somewhere over there. And you literally can just do a normal everyday eye look, and then when you want to punch it up, you just slap this on the lid and you don't have to blend, you don't have to do anything. So if you've been afraid to try glitter or you've had some glitter disasters, give this a go. It's like the grown-up version of glitter eyeshadow and you will love it. Eyeliners. The standouts for 2017, I should be very clear, I like brown eyeliner. I pretty much don't deviate from brown eyeliner. So the first one is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Burgundy Suede. It's not a self-sharpener. You have to put it in a pencil sharpener. It's just a beautiful warm brown with almost like an undertone of a rich, well, burgundy purpley tone under it. Love this one. Then the other one, it's the whole line. It's the CoverGirl Queen Vivid Impact Eyeliner. Specifically Truffle and Cabernet are my two favorite. They are the creamiest, most pigmented, beautiful eyeliners. They again are you have to put it in a pencil sharpener to sharpen it. And I do recommend the Urban Decay Grindhouse as the pencil sharpener. It has 2 different size holes. It's 10 bucks. It's a great pencil sharpener. I've had mine for years and years and years. Anyway, I digress. And then this is new to the game, but it's so good. It's the Marc Jacobs Highliner Matte Gel Eye Crayon. So basically it's a gel eyeliner in pencil form. I have it in the shade Earthquake, but there are so many shades I need to explore. There's so many tones of brown in this range that I can't wait to get my hands on. So, and this one is not a self-sharpener. You just roll it up and you get more product. On to mascara, 2 products only. The Givenchy Mascara Primer or Lash Primer. This I should probably throw away. I've had it for months and months and months, but if you poo-poo the idea of a lash primer or mascara primer, the reason I like this is because I have almost no bottom lashes, like nothing. And so I put this on first and it really makes the mascara adhere to whatever is there and make it look like I have more eyelashes than I actually do. And it does help with flaking and longevity as well. And also just separating and making my eyelashes more receptive to whatever is going to come on next. So I love this. I love the pack. I mean, it's pink enamel. Like, who wouldn't want this? And then the mascara, my favorite for 2017, is going to be a shocker because it's not the It Cosmetics Superhero, which is a great mascara for a little while, and then something weird happens and it gets clumpy. This one was good from the get-go and has continued to be great and gives me the same look and doesn't go bad on me. So it's just great. It's the Lancome Monsieur Big, or if you're an American and butcher French, we'll just call it Mr. Big. And it's just big, fat, voluminous eyelashes. It doesn't flake, doesn't smudge, doesn't smear. I love it. It's not waterproof. This one isn't waterproof. I don't even know if they make a waterproof one, but I never get those. So love this. Let's talk lipsticks. Let's talk fast. Let's speak first of what is on my lips. I discovered the Charlotte Tilbury line in a big way in 2017. There's a few more of her products I want to try in 2018, like the Retoucher, but I digress. Let's talk my 2 favorite lipsticks from her, and there's another one I want to order. But I'll talk about what I have on. This is Secret Selma. It is basically a matte lipstick, and it's like a, I'd say, what would you call this? Like a muted raspberry. It's a pink. It's beautiful, and I think it's a little more than what I normally wear, but I like this. This is like the perfect punch of color for my face. For everyday though, I keep going back to, I didn't name it. I didn't choose to call it this. This is literally what it says on the label, Bitch Perfect. It is the perfect neutral nude with some warm pink undertones, so it won't wash you out and make you look like a corpse. And then my most reached for lipsticks, I went back and looked, and they're always in my purse. No matter what purse I carry, they're in there. Both by Estee Lauder. They just rock lipsticks. This is called Crazy Beautiful. I actually saw this in an ad, reached out to Estee Lauder and said, what is this? What color is this? And it's Crazy Beautiful. It really is. It's just the perfect pink. If you're a pink kind of person, you'll love it. I have had this for years, but I reach for this over and over and over again. Again, from Estee Lauder. This is from their Pure Color Envy range, and it's in the shade Impulsive. And it's very similar. I mean, you know, we like what we like, right? It's right there. But you've seen me wear this in about 6,000 videos. And if you're looking for an easy to wear, everyday, kind of slightly brighter pink, but not really, this is great. And also, can we just talk about that? The magnetic packaging, I love it. Let's talk skincare. So the first thing I want to talk about is what I don't actually have. I need to go out and buy another one. It's the, I want to get this name right, Neutrogena Light Therapy Acne Spot Treatment. And it's basically a pen, a light pen that you hold up. It emits that cool blue and red light that will make a zit go away much quicker than anything else you can do. I used mine up. I need to go get another one. it's great if you only have a couple breakouts at a time and you don't need the full mask, and it really, really works. And it was not sent to me, and I just bought it on my own and I love it. Sticking with Neutrogena, many of you, if you've been watching me for a long time, I did a sponsored video for them back in January, February of 2017 for their Rapid Wrinkle Repair Regenerating Cream, and I really, really liked it. This is actually my second jar. It's like down to the nub. And you only are supposed to use a pearl size amount. And then I did another video for them in September, and this time they flew me to LA, or I got to interview Nicole Kidman one-on-one. If you missed that, I'll put that link that there and down there. Anyway, this stuff is amazing. It really does work. It really kicked up my skincare game to another level. I have very sensitive skin and so many things react poorly. This did not. I'm digging the Neutrogena products. This part is not sponsored. I have no contract with them. I just really like their products and I keep buying them on my own. I talked about this just last week, so we're not gonna get too in depth. The SK2 Facial Treatment Essence, game changer. Very expensive, but very worth it. I've been using it for almost 2 months. I'm about halfway through. A few of you have asked how I use this in my skincare routine very quickly, morning and night. I put it on a cotton round and pat it all over my face, let it dry, and then get on with the regular serums, creams, moisturizers, whatever. I do that morning and night. Okay, moving on to hair care. This should go without saying. I love this dry shampoo. It's the only one I will use. It's from Aveda. This is like my third one. It's the Shampure dry shampoo. I put it on clean hair. I put it on dirty hair. I've given it as gifts to so many people. It is just so easy to use. I do not recommend using this in place of actually washing your hair, but in an emergency, it will cover for that too. So I really, really, really like this. That's it for there. This, I talked Thar, did I say Thar? I've been talking too long. This is the Paul Mitchell Styling Iron. Talked about it in my December favorites. Used it today. It is just, every time I use this, I am just in awe of how amazing this is. My hair is so much sleeker, shinier, and it holds. Even when it got a little damp, it didn't immediately frizz up. It's a miracle worker. And lastly, last product I want to talk about is the T3, what is it called again? Whirl Trio Styling Wand. Basically, you buy this and it comes with 3 heads. You don't have to buy the whole trio. You could buy just this, and there are multiple different heads you can choose from. This is the largest one. I think it's 1.5 or 1 1/4. There's a 1 inch, and then the graduated, like the tapered barrel as well that came with this. I actually used this today. My hair looked amazing like 30 minutes ago. I used the straightening iron to straighten, as you can see, and then I used that to put some more body back into it. And then I tried fooling with the white balance and the lighting and got really frustrated and was doing a lot of this and running my hands through my hair, which I'm not going to do right now because I have swatches. And it kind of just blew it all over the place. But it is such a great styling wand. It heats up beautifully. You know I love it. I don't need to go on and on and on. I totally forgot to start with Happy New Year. Welcome to 2018. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for subscribing. I hope your New Year celebration was everything you wanted it to be. I'm so excited to start 2018 with all of you. Should have led with that, but I'm so excited about these products that I didn't. So those were my best beauty, skincare, hair care type products of 2017. They're definitely coming with me to 2018. I'm so excited. There are 2 more best ofs coming up. Next is clothing and accessories and handbags and jewelry, all that kind of stuff. That will be here Friday. And then next week will be Best of Lifestyle, which is just a lot of random fun stuff that I use to make my life more fun and easy, and just things I enjoy, like books I've read, TV shows, movies, etc. So please make sure you are subscribed. Click on that little bell to give you the notification when a video comes up so you don't miss it. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for choosing to spend the time that you have to spend it with me. I can't wait to read your comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.